Good evening. We begin with breaking developments. New World Order police have commenced nationwide seizures of printed Bibles. As of midnight, a Bible Confiscation Act is active in all territories.
By direct order of the world premier, all physical Bibles are now banned worldwide.
Possession of outlawed religious texts will be met with immediate seizure and detainment.
Authorities urge compliance to ensure order.
Please, it's just a book. Contraband possessed, code 77. Step back.
Attention residents, faith is treason. Compliance ensures safety.
All copies of the text must be seized. Move in.
Clear. Target, let's move. The world premieres your God now!
Unauthorized religious materials will be destroyed.
The word of God endures forever.
Thy word have I hid in my heart. Amen.
They can take the building, but not the truth.
Police, don't move! Down! On, do it!
Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Behold, the devil shall cast some
of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death.
Will you submit and take the mark of the beast?
I will not!
Let him hear what the Spirit saith.
Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
All right, Shalom to elect to Israel, to the hopeful elect to Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign Israelites, and elect the other nations, scattered across the four corners of the earth, want to give all praise to Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawah was shy. Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawah was shy. You got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawah was shy, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash, name of the Heavenly Father, who everybody intimately calls God, his true name in the ancient Hebrew, which is in the Lashon Kodash. His true name is Yahawah. Bahasham means in the name of Yahawashi is the Holy One of Israel. Everybody intimately called Jesus Christ, so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah, who was slain at the foundations of the earth for the salvation of the elect of Israel. Then you got 2/3 of the wicked Israelites here in America, Babylon the Great, and the other wicked Israelites scattered across the four corners of the earth, who will come back to the loins through the loins of the elect after the destruction. The Rakah HaKodash, as the Holy Spirit has been bestowed upon the men, the Heavenly Father gave his only begotten Son out of the world to complete this work. So we always want to give double honors to those apostles of great millstone. Let us all to this truth. Been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all who are part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord, wouldn't be part of that number. Lord, wouldn't us be edifying those who fear in the name of the Lord, striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah 3:5, it is not slack. 2 Peter 3:9 is unto a ring. 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. Salaki. Shalom to everybody tuning in here and on after. Yahawah Bahasham, Yahawah Shai Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash, Barakathum. And we're going to get into a various end-time topic. And the title is War Awaits in the Bottom of Every Man. What, you know, let me quote this a little different. So the title is changed a little bit. It says war, you know, and I would say, yeah, let me change that just a little bit. There we go. All right, so the title is War Awaits in the Bottom of the Souls of Men. What are you willing to go to war for? And there's different types of wars. You know, you have economic wars, you have spiritual wars, you have carnal wars that we're seeing right now. And, you know, it's already been decided which one you're going to have to fight. And we're going to go into various things going into that. And, you know, that's what GMS was set up for, starting with the elders and apostles, to basically give you, you know, a rundown of what we're all dealing with here in America, Babylon the Great, and the other Israelites scattered across the four corners of the earth. So, Lord, when it's edifying to the flock, we're going to start with a precept, and then we're going to go into something, you know, that was mentioned earlier today from Elder Yahawah, elders in the Dallas camp, and we're going to dig into what they were saying. Because that's the thing, like a lot of people watch videos, but when the elders and apostles, they say stuff, you're supposed to go study that stuff. And you're supposed to really go get the information on that stuff and feed it to the elect, you know? So that's why, you know, we're constantly listening to the apostles. We're constantly listening to the elders, you know, and listen to what brothers heard from the elders and whatnot, because you're not going to catch everything. You know, but the Lord made it like that. He didn't make it to where you're supposed to catch everything. You know, there's particular things that you need to build on in that day specifically for you. So he's going to direct you where you're supposed to go and what videos you're supposed to be paying attention to. You know, especially when you start your day off with Yahawah Yahawashi. That's what we do every day here in GMS, Oklahoma. You know, we start off with, you know, reading the scriptures, you know. So we're going to go with, start right here. We're going to go into the war that we're dealing with. And the Lord did give us weapons, you know, but it's not like Esau's weapons, you know. And what you're going to ultimately find out is the prophets that are teaching, we are the weapon. That's what the Lord said he's going to use. We'll go into that too. But first, it starts spiritual. For him to bestow that kind of power upon you, you have to have an understanding on what judgment is, why things are happening the way they are, how Esau maneuvers in the earth. Why is he getting judged? Why is the majority of Israel getting judged? These are things that you have to understand to be a judge. It's Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. It reads, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, right, but against principalities, against powers, and against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." So we're battling against mainly the Amalekites, which, you know, are the biblical Edomites, okay, the first descendants of Esau, which are the Rothschilds and big banking companies. But we're not coming at them in a sense of a physical sense. We're breaking down the what they've done to control the minds of our people. And a lot of ways they do it is through you know, what they put in the food, particular medicines that they use, you know. And, you know, of course, you know, this is not medical information, but I was looking up some early on ChatGPT. This is going to be interesting. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this up. This is what we're talking about, man. This is a psychological war, and they use enchantments on our people. What was it called? It's a certain medicine they just came out with, but the name of it, when you look up the name of it in the Greek, it makes sense why they would call it this. What was it called? Man, it's skipping my mind. I just looked it up too. It's hold on. Yeah. It's called Rexulti, right? Because everything when they do stuff, you know, that's why, you know, you want to go look up words in the Greek and the Latin, because it'll give you a more understanding on what you're dealing with when you're messing with, you know, stuff here in Babylon the Great. So I asked ChatGPT earlier because I was curious to show you what kind of, just to throw this out here. You know, the war that we're warring on is the truth. You know, we're bringing out information, you know, to show who are the real Israelites. Okay, that's our war, to prove that the inheritance belongs to us. You know, we are the true descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, and we show through mannerisms and other things. But I want to point this out to show you why it's very important to look up words. So when you go up to this new medicine, and we're not trying to say that like you can take it how you want, but I asked it. I said, what does Rex Ulti mean in the Greek? So this is what he said. He said the name Rex Ulti does not actually come from the Greek, and it doesn't have true meaning in Greek. Okay, so a lot of stuff, Esau pseudoscience, they've taken a lot of this stuff and they've kind of like made up their own way to do shit. It's a modern pharmaceutical brand name that is invented for a marketing and medication. The generic name is Brexpiprazole, right? So it's like they already used this before. But it says, however, the name was likely constructed from Latin-style pieces to sound meaningful. Rex is Latin for king. Ulti, likely from ultimate, right? So basically, when you hear in the word Rex Ulti, they're basically just saying ultimate ruler, ultimate leader. Okay? That's what it means. You know? So, but basically they're saying like, rule your mind. That's what government means. This stuff is supposed to basically keep you, you know, it's supposed to sedate you, basically. This is what they do with this is why they name stuff like this. Okay? Well, a lot of things you got to look at it deeper from base value. And, you know, they might take this video down because I'm mentioning what it says in the Greek, but, you know, whatever. But that's just something interesting that I seen earlier today, to show you like a lot. Esau hides behind a lot of these made up ass words that they make, but everything has a meaning when they do stuff, man. And if you look deep enough into it, you'll understand more on how Esau, maneuvers on how to get Jake to fall into certain shit, you know, because he really wants to control Jake's mind. And, you know, my elder made a good point one day, and he said something that's, you know, been kind of resonating with me lately. He said the devil has no new tricks. Like, these are the same, he using the same stuff that he's used to captivate Jake and the falling out the truth for years. You know, he ain't using nothing new. Like, this is why we repetitively tell you about the particular things, what he's doing in the earth. We don't need to have some super elaborate secret breakdown. Like, he's doing the same shit, you know? That's why I said, that's why the apostles say, you know, Apostle Gabar always says repetition is the father's skill. So we're supposed to just break down it to you to where, you know, we're fighting for your mind to be freed, okay? From the philosophy of Esau, even the so-called white man. That's our battle, you know? And this is our weapon. That's why I said the scriptures is sharper than a two-edged sword. And we're going to show you how lethal this weapon is. I'm going to show you in just a second. We do it all the time. But, you know, we're going to go into some more deeper information about what the elders were talking about, what's going to happen in December, to give you a vast understanding on what's about to happen, man. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to pulling down of strongholds. See, that's our job. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be giving you a vast understanding on what you're about to have to go through is serving Yahawah, Yahawashi. And we can't tell you exactly what you're going to go through, but it's not going to be nothing easy. So verse 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahawashi, right? When it says Christ, it's talking about Yahawashi. Okay. So when you go over here and you're looking into particular things that the elders say, you know, he puts the spirits on particular brothers to really go and fast on what they're really saying. Okay, so you won't have no imaginations thinking something is not what it is. Okay, because they're telling you the truth, but you're supposed to go and study this stuff. And a lot of Jake they don't have that spirit to go study. So we're all the brothers, we out here making sure you understand what's going on. Okay, we're watching. So this is you're just gonna let them talk for a minute, and then I'm gonna point out something that they said, and then we're gonna go into some stuff. Because Esau always be like, oh, we ain't finna do nothing, and they be doing some shit. So remember that. But watch this.
Rewrote their history. So if you look at the men of Japan now, they look like the women more than their goddamn women. Yeah. The West did that. Yep. He took the warriors out of their history books, and he fed to them that propaganda of and softening them up. Right. And now they so effeminized that the governments are like, we gotta stop this shit. China, our men are too damn effeminate. How are we gonna go to war with a bunch of effeminate men? Right. And over here in America, people are just being allowed into the military. They're not in shape. They're not really patriots like that. Mm-hmm. They really don't give a damn. They haven't been taught nothing. They're just a bunch of can heads. I forget what they call them. Jarheads. Some of them, got that warrior spirit, but the majority of the people in the U.S. military got Eve over there twerking on TikTok. I didn't know it was going to be like this. Yeah, get your ass on the front line. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Get your ass on the front line with just a hat. You don't even get a helmet.
Because now they got that me and the elder were talking about the camera cut on the draft at the end of this year. In December, that's going into full effect. Mm-hmm. So be looking for that in a city near you with the mandatory. Yep. With the mandate. Yep. Okay.
And basically, when they're being asked about the draft and stuff, they're saying we're not ruling it out. Right. Everything is we're not ruling it out now.
Right.
So again,
well, they're saying we're not ruling it out, right? So when you hear the apostles and elders say stuff like this, and you hear the elder brothers talk about this stuff, we got to go in depth and go sift through this stuff so we can give you a full understanding of what they're saying, okay, and give you like some real information, going into really, because they done went and studied this stuff, man. I'm telling you, they done went and studied this stuff, and we're going to prove it over here. And it's real interesting because, I'm always big about how Esau always does his shit with numbers, and we've already mentioned the ones I talk about. Here it go right here. So I said to ChatGPT, who would be the first to be drafted in America? He said if a U.S. military draft were activated today, the first people would not be a specific person. It would depend on a draft lottery system run by the Selective Service System. So how order works, it says birth date lottery. It says all 366 possible birthdays are randomly drawn. What do you know? The first birthday drawn becomes draft number 1. The next draft number 2, and so on. The draft starts with men who are 20 years old in the year of the draft. So whatever, who's ever 20, if you're 20 years old and they start this in December, but we're going to show you how it's going to start. We're going to show you how Esau's going to do that. And he's already basically selected whoever he's going to choose. And really, he's probably already got some of them getting ready right now, and it's a lot of them is these super buff, in shape, proud ass, young ass 20-year-old men out here. He's already going to call them right now and get them like, get your ass ready. That's how Esau is. He's not going to just wait till later. Like a lot of these young men are already probably getting informed that your ass is finna get drafted. Okay. So it says it starts with the men who are 20 years old in the year of the draft. If more people are needed, which it will, this is World War III. It moves to 21-year-olds, 22, 23, 24, right? They get everybody in there. And then it says then 19 and 18-year-olds if necessary. Lowest lottery numbers go first, right? Example, if someone is 20 years old and their birthday gets lottery number 1, they would likely be among the first called. It says who must register. Currently, men aged 18 to 25 in the U.S. must register with the selective service system, right? Women are not currently required to register. So you're supposed to go and do it, right? So it said, historical example, during the Vietnam War draft lottery, the first birthday drawn was September 14th, meaning that men with that birthday will be the first one in line. So basically, if you're 20 years old and your ass out here making fun of the prophets, get your ass ready because you finna get your ass drafted first. You're going to be the first ones out there. So it gave us some, he wanted us to explain some stuff. I said whether it said I can also explain whether the U.S. draft could realistically happen again, who is exempt from the draft, or what happens if somebody refuses to draft. But I asked it this. It says there are rumors in December 26th they will, right? Because we heard it from the prophets. And they were right, too. We're going to prove it and show you that they're right and they did their research. The elders and apostles don't just be saying stuff. But when they say go check it, it's like go learn this stuff, man. So you can break it down to the elect. So it says there are rumors online, but right now there is no official plan for the U.S. draft in December 2026, right? Let me explain what's actually happening, right? It says no draft has been approved, right? This is what the apostles were saying, and the apostles and elders. The United States has not had a military draft since 1973. To restart one, Congress will have to pass a law and the president will have to approve it. And what's all the stuff that he done, he said he wasn't going to do. He was talking about he's going to lock up all these people in the Epstein files. He said he wasn't going to be going to war. He said he wasn't going to do a digital currency system. He did that with the Trump coin. What makes you think he ain't going to issue in no draft? So why people are talking about it? Two things are causing rumors, right? War tensions, right? News about the conflict with Iran has led people to speculate about a draft. A law starting in December 2026. What's that law? What's the law? Shalom, shalom, Malak, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rahakodash, Rakatah, Shalom, Shalom, GMS and its lightning, Shalom. So this is why, the elders in Dallas, they were saying that, yeah, it's going to be automatic, and why would they have it automatic if you weren't going to get drafted? Why, if they're saying they don't have no plan, why is they automatically signing people up for this lottery? Okay. Because like I said, they're going to pick 366 individuals out of America, Babylon the Great to be the first ones lined up. And that it is not going to be just them. That's just the first draft pick. Just like when you in football, they got the draft pick. It'd be first picks out of all the people and then second draft pick. And you know what I'm saying? That's how it's going to be. So it says a new rule for the 2026 defense bill will make a draft registration automatic for men's 18 to 26 starting December 18th, 2026. See? That's the numbers, man. They're setting all this up because it says that they have to make council and then make war. They already decided who they're going to draft. Okay? The ones that they thinking are the best, they already pulling up on them right now. Got recruiters pulling up on them like, yeah, you need to get ready because you're going to be drafted. Because why would they not do that? They want them to be ready. Especially if you're going to be on the front lines. They want your ass to be ready. They're going to be pulling up your ass first. And they're going to tell you it's classified information you don't need to be telling nobody. And they're going to get your ass ready. So it says what would have to happen first? Before anyone could be actually drafted, Congress passes a draft law. The president signs it. The selective service lottery starts. See? But all that usually be all the way already set up. Just like when they said they was going to drop the Epstein files, they dropped that shit and a whole bunch of shit was blanked out. That's how it is with the draft. They already done pick who they going to pick. So introduction notices are sent. See what I'm saying? None of these steps have happened. So we telling you this how it's going to go down. But first, we're going to show you kind of, what's going to be happening simultaneously while that's happening. So in December 2026, thing people talk about is automatic registration, not a draft. So it's the beginning of your ass getting drafted. Okay, that's what it's talking about. We're going to go a little bit more in depth to it, but we're going to pull a precept. So the Lord's basically giving Jake, he's being patient and giving Jake enough time to get his mind right before all this goes down. And just like we seen at the beginning when you watching that little video, that elder the elder Ashiar made, it was talking about how they were burning the Bibles and banning the Bibles. That's going to be the start of a lot of this stuff going down. And simultaneously, while that's going down, there's going to be specific people that know they finna go to war, man. Esau, when he makes counsel, he come pull up on your ass early. Like, hey, man, you better get ready because we finna send you out there. So this is Matthew 24:6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, right? So what's going on right now? See that ye not be troubled, right? We ain't supposed to be feeling troubled because our war, we're already fighting it. We have the most terrifying war, because we don't have no protection, and we have to believe in faith because it said whatever you see that's considered hope in the earth is not hope. These people out here really think that they what they're seeing, they really have hope that stuff's going to work. But we us as spiritual hopeful elect, we looking at everything like ain't none of this stuff is going to save us. So we have to be stronger than the average person on the earth. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right? And then it goes into all these things that will happen. But we're just going to jump down to verse 14 and get to the point and go back and read a little bit more about this draft situation and give you an understanding on like how they be doing this stuff ritualistically. They're always doing it in rituals every time. So verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, which even you see people like, some particular heathens coming up and seeing us teaching the word. They're a witness. They've seen us out there, but that don't mean that they can get saved. It's just talking about everybody going to see us. How could a heathen get saved? And we talking about 2/3 of our people here in America, out of every 3 Israelites, 2 of them going to get burnt up here. What makes you think if you a heathen, you're going to get saved? We telling you only one of us out of every 3 of us is going to make it. How the fuck your ass is involved in that? It didn't say in Zechariah 13:8 that 2/3 will be cut off, but one Gentile will be saved with no. It said the third shall be left therein. That's talking about the elect of Israel. Y'all motherfuckers ain't even talking about y'all. So, and then shall the end come, That's what it's talking about. This has nothing to do with everybody else. But we're going to go back to the chat. We're going to break this down a little bit. I asked him, I said, hey, look, he got a little 8 ball next to it. The 8 ball is like that sorcery magic kind of thing, because it knows that's what it is. So it says, what does the 366 mean? It says, does the 366 mean out of each state? And is that just the first round of picks? It says, no, the 366 numbers are not per state. They apply to the entire country at once. And this is no coincidence why they're using them numbers. Here's how the draft lottery run by the selective service system actually works. What the 366 number mean? There are 366 possible birthdays, including February 29th. Each birthday is randomly assigned a lottery number from 1 to 366. The number determines your national draft order, regardless of what state you live in. If March 10th is drawn, right, then all 20-year-old men in the U.S. born March 10th will be first in line. Y'all be the first ones. All the ones that's 20 in that area with that birthday, in the whole U.S. And then they're going to pick, one of y'all out of that. And then if they need more, they're going to pick more of y'all ass. So someone in Texas, Oklahoma, New York, or California with that birthday will have the same priority. Is that the first round? Yes, think of it as round one of the call-up order. So they're going to keep calling until they don't need nobody else, which they're going to need everybody they can get. The government will go in order like this: 20-year-olds with the lottery number 1, right? If more troops needed, 21, right? We seen that earlier, right? Then if it's real bad, they're going to get to where 18-year-olds will get. And, when they start the draft, man, it's going to be a lot of people out here knowing that GMS wasn't playing. Then you're going to be trying to be all friends and shit. And most of us is not going to want to talk to you. You're going to be like, keep it at a distance. You can watch online. We don't want to kick it with you. So we told your ass. So the first people drafted would be, right? We already seen that. So another important thing, if your birthday is early, you might still not get drafted because of medical disqualification, essential jobs, military needs being met earlier in the list. Okay, so it don't mean that everybody gonna get drafted, and this is how the Lord is gonna be able to protect particular brothers, particular people that's in the truth, that are maybe in that age range. He's gonna make it where they don't go because they're serving Yahawashi. So that's, Lord willing, that gives particular believers that are in that age range, some more, not as feeling tense about possibly getting drafted, man. So I wanted to go into that too. So, I asked, is, everyone on that birthday will be drafted? It said, no, not everyone. So the Lord's going to strategically pick out who he wants to go there. And the first one's going to be y'all mocking ass heathens, man. And you mocking ass Israelites. Y'all going to be the first ones he picked. You're going to make Esau draw your ass out that magic hat. You're going to be the first ones going into that shit. So we're going to go to Isaiah 3:25. And this is how you know it's going to be, because, they talking about if you wasn't physically ready or whatever and all that, they're going to get to the point where it's going to be so bad, they're going to be sending over just damn near anybody. They're going to be like, well, you better get your shit together. Because it talks about just regular men and thy mighty men. This is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 25. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. So you're going to have two different type of particular men. You're going to have men that really ain't even warriors. That really ain't even warriors here in Babylon. They're going to be like, yep, get your ass up. Bring your ass over there. So it's going to be a lot of, this place it's going to have few men left. It's already like that now. All these, these moles walking around here, these booty shorts on, it's already not that many men out here. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. And this is what the Lord's doing. He's preparing slaughter for Esau's offspring and whoever else trying to agree with them. Isaiah 14:21, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. So he's preparing slaughter for them because they took us into slavery. We don't have no certain dwelling place. We ain't in the land of Israel no more. We were scattered. We're reproaching a curse, and they got to pay for that, man. And part of that is the Lord making sure they get sent into this World War III, man. That's how they getting prepared. And he's got Esau setting that up. And right on December 18th, that's when it's an official date. So what makes you think, you see how everything's going on right now, you don't think by the time we get down to December, shit gonna change? These Edomites ain't never done nothing and it just stayed the same. They always changing shit up. They're gonna change that, and it's gonna be more severe as the time goes down. So right now we're supposed to be doing what? Make sure we right with Yahawashi. Because we gonna get down there, they gonna shoot. They might just say, nah, we just said it's just gonna be automatic, but now it's for real. Now you're getting drafted. There's Iran shooting missiles everywhere. We're gonna go into some stuff. We read about this, at my previous camp. I might just go into a few points on it, but it's just to give you an update to show you why we're saying that all these other nations are gonna go. They're gonna basically rely on Russia, because when we looked up ChatGPT about what Russia does for the BRICS, they provide oil and natural gas and grain and wheat and military support, man. Those are the main things they need right now to be protected from Babylon, America. So let's watch a little bit of this.
For the last 15 years, I've been in prison for a crime I didn't commit. I intend on finding out why. And when I do, I'm going to punish those people responsible.
You're playing these people's lives.
They played with mine.
I'm planning revenge. Dig your own grave first.
I'm the Count of Monte Cristo. I want justice.
The Count of Monte Cristo, a new series on Masterpiece.
Movie look whack as hell. Come on with the shit. There we go.
Today, we also learned that Iran is receiving intelligence support from Russia. Our Nick Schifrin joins us now. So, Nick, let's start there. What kind of intelligence?
Two officials who've been briefed on this intelligence tell me that Russia has shared satellite data that provides the real-time movement of American troops since Saturday, since the war began. That confirms a report first in the Washington Post. The officials say the data includes movement of ships, movement of aircraft as they move into the region, as they move throughout the region. Now, the context for this is Iran's ongoing attacks, attempted attacks on U.S. troops, but also ongoing attacks on U.S. bases and embassies. For example, this drone attack that crashed.
And another thing, America is just like Egypt. You know what I'm saying? It's spiritually Sodom and Egypt, which we're going to go into that tomorrow, Lord willing. But basically, Egypt was always like exaggerating victories and exaggerating casualties. Like, we're going to show a video of what Tel Aviv looks like, and we're going to see if you think 5 or 6 people died in that shit. We're going to see. There ain't no way no damn 5 people died and a whole damn city, it looks like fucking broken Legos. There ain't no way. There ain't no way, man. They just showing like little bullshit, talking about some drone crash. We talking about a whole nation attacking America right now, and Russia is giving them intel. You think they just gonna send one drone over there? Man, I'll tell you, man, that draft is gonna start sooner than what a lot of people think.
Into the Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, an attack on a tactical operations center in Kuwait. On a base, you see the damage in the bottom right there. That killed 6 U.S. soldiers in a facility.
It's talking about some 6 U.S. soldiers. That was a whole building. That was a whole building, man.
That the soldiers' family members say was not reinforced. And attacks like this one on the Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia that we saw yesterday. Close call for the cameraman there. But I spoke to...
Boy, they ain't playing, man. They ain't playing. And they getting intel from Russia, and they telling them where they at, where they moving their shit at. Trying to tell you, they gonna rely on Russia, which is, basically in Ezekiel 38. We read it yesterday. And it basically just says all these nations is gonna be a guard unto Russia, man. We'll just read a little bit of it, and then we're gonna get into a few more things. And then we're gonna get out of here. I didn't try to make it too long, because there's a lot of other stuff that I wanna cover this week, and I really wanted to start Monday, but the Spirit had me go out with the younger brother, to go do another camp. So this is Ezekiel 38. We're going to it all the time, but this is like showing you on the news why it's showing you why they're working with Russia. So we'll just get to the point. Verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, talking about turning, Russia into that old Soviet Union. But everybody in the old Soviet Union, it was 40 different countries in that, and a lot of them relied on Russia. That's what's happening. They're getting turned back into that Soviet Union, man. And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen. Like we always say, that horses, horse means power. That's why you got like a car's horsepower. Okay. Or like when it says horns, it's talking about power. That's why, like when it said, Yahawashi was on the white horse, the horse means power. It wouldn't mean he really riding in on a white horse. It's talking about power. Okay. And it's symbolic for the white robes. You know what I'm saying? That's why the elect have the white robes. You know what I'm saying? So it's going into basically purity, going into, you know, pure intentions on basically the judgment that's coming on this earth, man, for righteousness' sake. So all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. That's talking about the different types of missiles. You got all these different types of names that they got for these missiles. Even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, which is who? Iran. Okay, so Iran is receiving information from Russia. That's why they the first ones named. And what's going on? What's going on in the news? They the first ones that they're saying that they're getting intelligence from Russia. It's going right with prophecy. They the first ones mentioned. They the first ones we seeing in the headlines that is that America is claiming is getting intel from Russia. Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer, which is talking about Turkey, and all of his bands in the house of Togomar in the north quarters, you know, particular different tribes, right? And all his bands and many people with the, you know, particular different regions of people, you know. We ain't gonna go into all of them. Be prepared and prepare for thyself, thou all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them, right? They're gonna protect Russia. That's what it's talking about. Okay. We ain't gonna go no more into it. You know, we got videos where we go into all Ezekiel 38, man. But we ain't gonna deal with all that right now. We're gonna keep it plain. It says Navy issues nuclear warning about China's threat to large portions of the U.S. They talking about they're producing more advanced submarines. Okay, when you go into this, and you know, basically why it matters. You know, these are things that, you know, that have been talked about. They're like in last week, but we're gonna give you an update on what's being said now. Okay, that's why, you know, I feel like the Spirit kind of let me hold these articles for a little bit so we could say what this was talking about last week, and then go into what they're saying today to show you the you know, the progress on what's been being said and what's going on. So it said it came on Monday. Increased concern about nuclear capabilities unfolded to the U.S./Israel military strikes in Iran and subsequent military strikes throughout the Middle East. You know, over the past year, they made significant advances in shipbuilding and force projection, from commissioning its most advanced aircraft carrier, the CNS Fujian, to conducting two notable distant deployments in the border Western Pacific and around Australia, showing it is increasingly capable of challenging America's naval supremacy. So this is the war that they in. They know what war they going for. You know, they know what they doing. But just like the elder was talking about, Elder Yahawah, he was talking about America is kind of like softening them up, you know, to where there's a lot of them out there, they're not ready for war, but there's a lot of them that are. You know, the Lord is stirring that spirit up in them to get back to that, you know, that mindset, you know, of war, starting with Russia, man. That's why they all formed the BRICS. So France, they getting down with some new stuff too. This was 8 days ago too. And I'm looking some more of what they doing. Because, you know, the France, you know, they part of the 7 heads and the 10 horns, which is NATO and the EU. Like when it talks about the mark of the beast, we know the mark is talking about the RFDI chip. You putting your right hand on your forehead. The beast is talking about NATO and the EU. France is one of those, a part of the beast system. Look what they doing. He got them doing the same thing. France makes unprecedented nuclear weapons decision. French President Emmanuel Macron announced Monday that France will expand its nuclear arsenal and, for the first time, allow the temporary deployments of its nuclear-armed aircraft to allied countries. See? A shift, he said, intended to strengthen Europe's strategic independence amid growing global instability. They're talking about separating from the East, man. Who you think they're going to be sharing with? This show ain't going to be America, Babylon the Great, because they're the ones making stuff unstable. They want to take over Greenland. They want to take over Venezuela, all this different, you know, stuff that they're messing with. You know what I mean? So they're shifting more towards the East. They're talking about Europe's strategic independence. They're talking about separating from America with what? Missiles. That's what it's talking about, you know? So we know this one well. Just to give you an update on everybody's getting their missiles ready. This is Joel 3 verses 9. And it reads, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, right? All these men who ain't afraid to shoot missiles. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Verse 10, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. They never used to be talking about, we going to start sharing missiles. That's why it says it's an unprecedented nuclear weapons decision. They're all starting to say, no, we got missiles too now. We're going to start making sure we straight. That's what it's saying. So we're going to see what Trump, who, you know, which is basically the spirit of Nero, who we learned from Apostle Tahar, you know, and if you don't know about Nero, you know, he was a Roman emperor in the time, you know, of Rome, you know, and, you know, we ain't gonna go too much into it, but, you know, when you go into Second Esdras, it speaks of the 12 feathers. You know, he was one of those rulers in Rome in the old, you know, Roman Empire, you know, that Western Roman Empire, you know, ruled for a specific amount of time. And they in that same spirit over here, man. So it says the war that started in Iran has now spread to Lebanon, Cyprus, and the Gulf in just 48 hours. So 2 days. And Trump is warning Americans it's not ended soon. That was 8 days ago, right? So this is what he said. We're going to hear something else he said. And then we're going to go to what he said like the other day. And we're going to show you the reason why he's saying that there ain't going to be a new war started, because we're going to show you. Watch this. Listen to this.
People of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. To the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand.
Right? So they're trying to make it seem like they're trying to help Iran, but watch this. Watch what Zaquan found. This was something he found. He did a video on it. Watch what he found. Let me show you. Because I was wanting to pull this up at some point. And this is right now. I want to pull this up. Because like we were saying, every single one of these countries that are getting bombed, they're basically not dealing with the Rothschilds, the Amalekites. They're not dealing with them. So that's why they're mainly fighting them, because they don't want to put a centralized bank in there. Hold on, let me go to the Elder's channel. He found an old ass movie going right into this right here. Let me get to it. It's down there. It don't ever be letting me find this channel. I'll be having to like type in, you know, certain keywords and then go all the way down there and find this channel. It won't let me pull it up when I put his name in there. I don't know why.
Hey, Shalom.
Yeah, it's right here. Let me pull this up real quick. It's only like a 4 or 5 minute video, but it's going to show you, like, they always do stuff ahead of time. Just like I was saying, if they do the draft, it ain't going to be no damn out of nowhere. Like, they going to start informing everybody real soon. You know, that's what they do. Oh, man, go back. Come on, man. Give me a sec. Come on, man. It's like frozen. It's crazy. Let me do this. Okay. So now I need to go. Why is it so big, man? What's going on? All right. We're going to go to his videos. There it is. I think it's, yeah, I think it's this one. Hold on.
To make out of this fair use.
Yeah, this is the one. Because he said he tried to do it one time and then it wasn't working or something. So he had to do a second video on it. But we're going to play this real quick and show you, like, they was already planning on attacking these places. And they was putting it in movies and stuff. Yeah, watch this. And shalom to everybody on the comment board. Tune in on after Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakahakodash, Rakathun. So we're going to go ahead and play this real quick. Check this out. This is heavy right here. This is heavy.
Shalom, Israel. Just getting right into it. I'm going to play. This is not for any monetary gain. No money intended to make out of this. Fair use. This is a film. I don't know what film it is. I don't think it displays that. But he's talking about the Rothschilds. And he's basically explaining to his sons, which, you know, in this film will become the Rothschilds, and tell them about the banking family, to bank in London and Vienna and Frankfurt, and to keep the unity, pretty much create a brotherhood, and you know, to not ever get divided. So I'm gonna just play it, and you know, these are the rich people of the earth. These are the ones that know that we're the real Jews. These are the ones that control all the banks and pretty much the whole world with these banking family knit enterprises, organizations, companies. Another term for it is shareholders. They had that during time of slavery. You know, they called them sharecrops or something like that. So this is a conglomerate.
Okay.
Body of elite men, if I'm saying that right.
Okay, so it's the second one because I think he tried to play it, it didn't play. It's the second one, Salaki. Yeah. Let me go up. Yeah. Damn, go back. Yep, this one right here. This is where I was able to play. But, you know, he was kind of breaking it down a little bit and explaining it. Yeah, let's go. Let me go back. Yeah. Because you're going to hear him say he couldn't get it to play. It was messing up.
First video. I had to free up space. It went off. But him explaining, like I said in the first video.
So that when money is to be sent from here to London, let us say, you won't have to risk life and gold. And you, here in Frankfurt, will just send a letter to Nathan in London saying, pay so-and-so. And that will be offset by loans from London to Frankfurt. Understand? In your day, there will be many wars in Europe.
See?
And nations that have money to transport will come to the Rothschilds.
See? He said in your day, he said there'd be many wars in Europe. Look at this shit, man. Hey, this is heavy right here, man. This is what's going on right now. This is all we telling you, man. The apostles and elders, they know what they talking about, man.
In your day, there will be many wars in Europe. And nations that have money to transport will come to the Rothschilds because it will be safe.
Papa, you mustn't talk anymore. The doctor.
I'm giving advice to our sons, Mama, that the doctor cannot give. Remember, unity is strength. All your lives you must stand by one another. No one brother must be allowed to fail while another brother succeeds. Your 5 banking houses may cover Europe, but you will be one firm, one family, the Rothschilds. You are 5 brothers.
See? And that's how history showed that it happened. They had the major ass banks. And I don't know what's the name of the movie. I'll have to ask Saquon. I don't know what the name of the movie is, but that's just the point. I don't know. It's a real old movie though, but he went and found that clip. So man, I'll have to, if I can find it, I'll put it in the comment board. I'll ask him. But yeah, that's heavy right there. Like that's literally what it's talking about right now. What's going on right now? So maybe we'll I'll do maybe do a little digging, and Lord willing we can give you that information, because I don't know what movie it is either, but it's definitely something old school. And that's what, like, he literally said that, yeah, it's gonna be many wars in Europe. Look what's going down. Look what's going down. And look what else Trump said. Look what else he said. Watch this. He said Trump says Iran war will be over very soon, but not this week. That's what I'm looking for. He's saying it's gonna be over, but it ain't gonna be over. Let me show you something. Because I put it, I found the article when we was at camp on Sunday. Yeah, nah. Nah, he said he gonna say the next war is soon. They done took it down or something. He talking about the Iran war gonna be over very soon. No, it's not. Because he just said in that other article, he said it ain't ending in no time soon. That's what we're trying to tell you, man. And yeah, it is back in that day, like black and white cinema. That's all we're trying to tell you. Like everything that they do is it's already been planned out. That's all we're trying to tell you. They finna make this MOTB system, okay? This marketed beast system, this digital system, and they starting with the Rothschilds and Iran. Particular countries in Europe are not down with it, so they're bombing them and shit. Okay, so trying to get that one world government system working. But I can't find it. If I can find an article, I'll post it in the comment board. But he said there's gonna be more war soon. Okay, and I want to show one more video, one more thing, and then we're gonna go to Romans, and then we're gonna get out of here. So you telling me, because they be talking about 6 people, 7 people died. They always use that number when they're trying to make up shit. You telling me only 6, 7 people died out of this? Look at this shit. That's Tel Aviv, man. That place is through. This is the Ministry of Defense area. Bro, that shit is out of here. And it says somebody said that this is incorrect. It said this is an image of North Gaza or something. But like you said, they always be saying shit that ain't correct. They always be acting like shit ain't right. But I did see another video of them shooting at Israel. But they doing it in Iran too. We just seeing missiles flying. It ain't no telling whether that's, Tel Aviv or not, but they try to say what it ain't, but they could be lying. We ain't over there. So Romans, my point is just like, you see how wherever that place was, it was leveled, man. So even if Tel Aviv ain't like that, you know, or whatever, that's what it's finna be like, because the Lord's gonna have these Russians and these other nations shoot missiles over there, and then they gonna point at America, man, because they're siding with Israel, you know, with the Amalekites. So it's Romans chapter 3, verse 15, their feet are swift to shed blood. So even if that isn't wherever they say it is, this is how the whole earth is about to be looking like because of Esau, man. Verse 16, destruction and misery are in their ways. That's what they do. Talking about some war gonna be over soon. No, it ain't. That's how they get down. Verse 17, in the way of peace have they not known. That's why they were saying that Rothschild had that video of Rothschild telling his 5 sons that, and that's how when you look up in the history, it talked about that the 5 sons of Rothschilds were those who started them big banking companies, made all that money. That's what he was saying. He said, yeah, man, it's going to be many wars in Europe in your day, which means they was going to be ruling. They was going to have control of shit. Verse 18, there is no fear of the Most High before their eyes. They ain't worried about not shooting no missiles, man. You know, and Iran shooting missiles too, man, because they're getting intel from Russia. So when they be acting like it's just Iran, you know, getting bombed, don't believe that shit, man. And we seen the videos in Dubai, what they were doing in Dubai, man. Dubai was getting jacked up. Okay, so like we said, you think that's a big deal. The Lord gonna let the earth keep going on until we stop teaching. He said whenever we done teaching, he said that's when shit really gonna get bad. So what makes you think that, you know, our warfare is insignificant? Our warfare is so significant after that's when the end starts, when we're done. Lord ain't waiting on them for the end. He's waiting on us to finish our job, which is, you know, it's already set in motion for us to do so much until it's time to go. So, you know, that's all I wanted to put out there. But Lord willing, tomorrow we can go into spiritually Sodom and Egypt compared to America, you know, military wise, you know, a lot of other different ways to give you a vast understanding on why, you know, America, Babylon the Great is acting like it is. So, hey, Lord willing, us F on to the flock. Peace and blessings to the elect. Kwame Yasharala. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to elect to Israel. You so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that are like the other nations scattered across the 4 corners of the earth. Shalom.